Hello, I'm back with video assessment problem number 7, where I was given the graph of f prime of x and asked a couple questions about it. The first question basically asked, what does the first derivative graph tell us about f of x, and at what values of x can be significant. So we can basically determine that the function f of x will be decreasing at x values between -1 and 0. And also at x values between 2 and 4.26. This is because at these values, -1 to 0 and 2 to 4.26, the function is negative. This is the derivative, so the parent function will be decreasing at these points. Also, we can determine that f of x will be increasing at the x values between 0 and 2, and when x is greater than 4.26, because again, the derivative is positive, implying that f of x will be increasing. We can also tell that there will be a minimum at x equals 0 because the function goes from, the derivative goes from being negative to positive, implying that the slopes will be, the slope of the f of x function will be decreasing and then increasing, so that's why there will be a minimum there. And also there can be a possible inflection point at x equals 3.13. The second question asked, how can we use the first derivative to find information about the second derivative? And that's pretty simple. The second derivative is basically just going to be a straight line, a constant line here, because there's no change in slope. The second derivative is going to be the change in slope of this derivative graph's tangent lines. So again, yeah, there's going to be a continuous line because there's no change in slope here, but there is a change in slope here. So we can see that there will be a linear line going from negative to positive, and there will be a 0 at 3.13. We can use this information about the second derivative to tell us about the shape of f of x by saying that the f of x function will be concave up at the x values between -1 and 2, and when x is greater than 3.13, because the second derivative will be positive at these values of x, implying that the f of x function will be concave up. And then concavity will shift downward at the x values between 2 and 3.31 or 3.13, as the second derivative will be negative there. The final question asked, sketch the graph to the parent function. So basically just graph f of x between 0 and 5 with the initial condition f of 0 will equal 3. And here's a good look at it right there. It's pretty simple. We knew that it would be increasing from here to here, and then we have a nice cubic function there. Thank you. This has been video assessment problem number 7.